Hey guys, Chris from Flow Brackets. In this video, we're going to do a super deep dive into all things slimline plates, starting with the different sizes, the brackets, the accessories that you can choose, and the ecosystem that everything lives into it. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. First thing, let's talk about sizes. So in slimline sizes, across Australia, there's generally 3 sizes. In Victoria, we've got this one here, which is 100mm tall. This is commonly seen and used in WA, Tasmania, Victoria, Queensland. In South Australia and New South Wales, you commonly see these. There's 2. So the front one is generally a bit smaller and the rear one is a bit taller. So first thing you want to do is work out which slimline plate you have. And the easiest way to do that is to measure. So you measure how tall this is and how wide this is. You can pair that up with one of our 3 brackets to match the plate, which can then go on to the car. Pretty simple. The holes are pretty standard across all 3, with the exception of these front ones, which are missing the bottom 2. This is how they come, and I'll talk more about that a bit later on. So with our 3 brackets, they correspond with the 3 different size number plates. So if you say you've got that one, 100mm tall, it'll most likely be, or will be, SL2, or what we call SL2. We just give it a number to make the shopping experience a bit easier. So when I say SL1, that'll be the smallest plate. SL3 is the taller plate, which is the rear of New South Wales and South Australia. To add to that, we will be having a 4th option, which is what we call SL0. We discovered in South Australia, some of the front plates are actually narrower again, so we'll have a new range to suit those plates. Now let's talk about brackets. So what we'll do is we'll unbox one of the brackets, go through what's included, tools, hardware, how we can use them, and some of the features included. The hardware is the same across all 3 brackets, so we'll just pick one, open it up, and we'll have a look inside. So our slimline brackets come in singular kits. So if you want to put, say, a bracket on the front and the rear, you need to grab 2 brackets. Now, not all cars need 2. You just gotta pick it to suit your situation. So you want to do front and back, do grab 2. When you open the box up, you'll be presented with the instructions, which I'll just go through quickly. You see the bracket, the tools, which are also included, and also the fitting kit inside. Let's talk about hardware. Hardware is probably the most important part when it comes to our bracket system. The bracket does a really good job. It has a lot of features, but it's not going to do what you want to do without the correct bolts, which is to suit every situation. You could be without covers, with covers. You want it countersunk, or do you want it flush with dress bolts? All the options are there. Also, we give you all the inclusions for hardware to suit different cars, and also tape if you prefer tape only or a mixture of both. Hardware, so what makes it special is all our hardware is custom made, and we choose to go with custom made because every bolt is going to be just long enough or just short enough, and it does the exact job that we want it to do. And of course, all our hardware is stainless steel because we don't want anything to rust. So with the instructions, it's broken into 2 pages. So the first page is how to get the bracket onto your vehicle, and there is a bracket fitting kit that corresponds with that. And what this does is to get the bracket onto the car. The bottom page is how to get the plate onto the bracket, which has its own separate screws, and we'll quickly go through some of those. So in the bracket fitting kit, there's 2 sets of hardware. One is an M6 fitting. This is very common on Japanese cars, Lexuses, etc. You've also got the gauge screw. Now this is commonly used on European cars, Audi, Volkswagen, etc. In the fitting kit, you also find spacers. Now spacers can be used in numerous ways. The most common is to have the number plate spaced off the car to give you that premium floating look, which everyone loves. You get 4 of those, and that's plenty to do its job, and the screws are long enough to do that. So moving on to the second page, which is the number plate fitting kit. So these are the hardware that gets your number plate onto the bracket. Now there's 4 options. It might be overwhelming. I'll try and break it down for you. So option 1 and 2, they do the same job. They're just aesthetically different. So it just depends which one you like better. Now option 3, this is specifically for polycarbonate or acrylic plates, which are the plastic ones. You don't want to use those because they're not long enough and they might crack the plate. So what we've done instead is we've designed a specific bolt, and that will secure acrylic plates. So option 4 is specifically for Kingpin and Nulon covers. Now we try to make our bracket compatible with many accessories as possible, Kingpin being one of the leading number plate cover manufacturers. So what we've done is we made the screw, of course, custom made, just long enough to reach through the plate, through the cover into the brackets, but not so long where it pokes out the back. So if you were to use covers, these are the screws you want to use. Last thing you might notice in the back is the double-sided tape. Now this can be used numerous ways. you can use it to tape on the plate onto the bracket without any hardware. This is good because you don't need to tape it to the car, you tape it to the bracket instead, which is really good if you have flexi plates in Queensland with no holes. You can also use them as padding. So peel off one side, stick it to the back of the plate so it doesn't rub against the car. And you've got 4 of those to use however you want. We also include 3M primer, and that's going to help really increase the bond between the 2 materials. So this is the number plate bracket. It is made from a CNC machined aluminium, as you can hear. But before getting to that, a lot of people don't know this, but our kit also includes tools. So you've got your 3mm Allen key and your 4mm Allen key. Everything you need to fit your plates onto your car is included in the box. It's not extra. So our aluminium brackets are machined out of a flat sheet of metal. We do that because aluminium is a great medium, which allows us to utilize the strength of aluminium. So you can actually put screws and fasteners into it. Without it, if it was, say, plastic, it would have to be a lot thicker to maintain the strength. So with aluminium, it gives you a nice thin profile. It's nice and light, and it's going to last a very, very, very long time. Another design feature, which is often overlooked, these slots, they're actually milled down halfway in certain locations. You know what that's for? Because our bolts are custom made, when you sink it in, it's completely flush, and this is the thinnest we can make it while maintaining strength, while looking nice. It's not going to stick into your plate. Another feature, which you probably can't see on camera, but along these slots, we've actually got a little reference lines here. This is going to help you center the plate. A lot of lines in here refer to, say, BMW, Audi mounting holes. So when it comes to aligning at center, there's a lot of little prompts that will help you center it perfectly onto your car. In the bracket, of course, we try to include as many manufacturer mounting points as possible. So Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, it's all in here. Land Rover, it all fits. If it doesn't, we'll have a range of accessories that will adapt it to very specific cars, which I'll move into a bit later. Also, these slots here, these vertical slots, they're for Japanese cars. So in certain situations, when you install your number plate, it's just a little bit too low or a little bit too high. This will give you that vertical adjustment to go up or down if you need to. So let's move on to adapters. So of course, this design isn't going to accommodate every car in the world. There are certain exceptions, I suppose. The most common is Mercedes. So Mercedes at the back of the car, they have a 4 mounting point position, which is actually just outside of the number plate. So what we've done is we've designed a Mercedes adapter plate for those that looking to mount to the back of the car, and only the back of the Mercedes will have this. So if you're running slimline plates on a Mercedes-Benz, make sure you grab one of these adapters too, because it's impossible to fit it in here without a whole bunch of compromises. So if you're a Mercedes owner, you'll probably be familiar with the 4 points on the back of the car. How that works is you mount this onto the car first, and you've got 4 new mounting points which align with our brackets. And those 4 points are used commonly on a lot of our adapters and accessories, so it becomes one little ecosystem. Because we have an adapter, it still allows a little cutout or a relief cut to accept covers, which I'll move into now and explain a bit more about that. So let's talk about number plate covers. Now, we've made sure that our bracket accepts Australian number plate covers. So one of the biggest brands is Kingpin, which is commonly found at Autobarn, Supercheap Auto, etc. The other one is Ultrex. Now, we've done a few things to make sure that these covers are compatible with our design. Number one with Kingpin is we've made a custom screw, which I spoke about earlier. Ultrex has a clipping system. So how that works is this mounts to the front of the number plate like that, and they have a clip that goes over. So what we've done is allow a little cutout on all 4 corners. So Ultrex covers new or old are both compatible, and there's enough clearance on it without adding extra thickness. Drilling templates. Now, this is actually a really important one and often overlooked by other brands. If you have a front European style plate, these small ones, you notice that they actually don't come with holes. So you've got 2 options. You can tape it on with the tape included, or you can use the drilling template, which is clear and already has the holes marked out, which are the same holes that you'd find on a non-European plate because they're the same size. So if you wanted to, you can use this. You can punch out the holes in the corner like it would have from factory and mount it to our bracket using a mechanical fastener. So part of our ecosystem are plinths or plinth delete kits. Now what this does is this adapts, say, a very pointy bumper to a flat number plate. So for example, if you have a Mercedes-Benz, they're notorious to have pointy bumpers of all shapes and sizes. So you can't just mount a bracket to a uneven surface. So what we've got is a range of plinth delete kits, which basically allows you to put this part, which is car specific, onto the car first, replacing the factory box. And then from there, you can put on a bracket. And then if you decide to buy a new car, keep the bracket and just change the plinth if you need to. There is a separate video on this topic and I'll link it below, you can watch it. So that's our number plate mounting system. Now it is a mounting system, not just a singular bracket, because the worst thing is you buy a bracket and you got to make a trip to Bunnings and buy extra bits and pieces or tools. This is an all-inclusive solution, which is meant to work for every car and every mounting combination. If we don't have it, please reach out because we'd love to expand our range. So I hope you found this video useful and thanks for watching.